Do not invest in these three coins if you're trying to get rich from crypto in 2025. Now, I know this is going to trigger some people. I'll explain exactly why these three coins are going to underperform, especially if you're working with a smaller portfolio. The first coin is going to upset one of the biggest cults in the crypto space, XRP. Secondly, we have what I believe is the worst pick of the three today, and that is Solana. And finally, may or may not surprise you, but the third coin I will cover that you should not rely on to get rich from crypto is Bitcoin. If you're holding any of these coins or thinking of investing in any of these coins, listen to this video very carefully and I will explain why you should avoid all three. In this video, I will explain why their upside is capped and what you should be looking for instead if you want to make truly life-changing gains in crypto. Welcome back to the channel. My name is DK and I've been a crypto investor for over 5 years now. I run Crypto Crusaders, arguably the greatest financial community out there, with over 400 members and over $9 million invested across the board. On this channel, I share my views on market trends and investment strategies to help you make generational wealth in crypto. So, XRP. This one is fairly easy to explain why it's not worth investing into at current prices if you want to make truly generational wealth. And I'll show you exactly why. So, look at this chart here. Now, down here at $0.4 per coin, right here, is when I mentioned to CC Elite and to a few people personally now that is a good asymmetric bet on XRP. It's a good time to buy. Why? Because they were in the middle of essentially legal warfare with the United States. They were getting cooked at this point. However, that was under Kamala Harris's presidency. And it's fairly obvious that Trump was going to resolve all of these issues with XRP as he's very, very, very pro-crypto. So, right here, this yellow circle, I said, this is a good time to buy XRP. And I mentioned to friends who do leverage trading, this is a good time to get into an XRP long. And what happened from there? Well, from $0.4, it then pumped 9x almost. So if you entered upon my initial call there, you would be 9x up on your investment. If you didn't, the time to invest in XRP is long gone. Now, of course, if you have 7 figures in crypto, that's different. If you invest in XRP and you turn 1 mil into, let's say, 5 mil, you're going to be more than happy with a $4 million profit. However, most of you watching this, you are not going to be a millionaire. You're not going to throw millions of dollars at the crypto market. What you're going to likely do is put in 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 figures. But even with 6 figures, when you know that there are coins out there that can get you 100x, 200x, 300x in CC Elite, for example, it is pointless to put your money into an asset that right here, I believe, has a peak possibility of an 8x from here. I think at its peak, XRP can trade around $20. Now, even that is unpopular. Most people will say that is a wildly extortionate estimation for XRP. Now, I'm more bullish on XRP than most people are. If you tell the average guy on the street XRP to $20, they'd be happy with XRP at $7. Right? So, I think peak euphoric bull cycle, if everything goes crazy and we do get this crypto heaven of an alt season, the very highest price XRP can go to is $20. Do I think it'll go to $20? No. Can it go to $20? Yes. So if you entered at this yellow circle I drew and I first said XRP would be a good investment, yeah, okay, cool, you're making a 50x gain. That is more than good enough. 50x, okay, cool. There's some altcoins in CC Elite that will get you 50, 100, 200, 300x. But a 50x on such a popular coin is an amazing return. However, you're not entering at that yellow circle. You're entering now, here, in this red zone. And to get to the very top target for the cycle, you're making an 8x. An 8x is not going to change your life. Okay? It's not a bad thing. An 8x return, you're not going to make in any other traditional finance industry. You're not going to make it in stocks. You're not going to make it with gold. You can make it with XRP. But bear in mind, this is if everything goes to plan and beyond. That is the highest it can go for this cycle. Now let's check what the lowest it can go for the cycle. To $5.70, that is a 150% return. 2.5x. It's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. So that is the main argument against XRP here. It's already beaten the legal cases. It's already well off the lows of the cycle. There is not actually much that you're betting on here. There's no future developments you're really betting on here. Yes, they can have bullish partnerships. Yes, they can have bullish announcements. But they've already beaten their case. They've already have ETFs launching. There's not much more new to buy into here. So while at the very best you can get an 8x, and at the very worst you can get a 3x max, it's just not good enough if you've got $1,000 to invest, $10,000 to invest. When you know you can, with $10,000, you can become a millionaire in crypto, not with XRP. So while I am technically bullish on the project, I think it's a very good project, I think it's overhated, I do not see the logic in investing in XRP here if you have less than 7 figures. And I know you watching this video, you have less than 7 figures to invest. Not worth it with XRP. So next, and most definitely least, is Solana. And why I think it is the worst investment of all three listed today. So Solana had an amazing early run, and if you were invested from the bottom, props to you, because you would be up 37x from the lows. But let's talk about investing here at these levels. Now, what do I think Solana will reach for this cycle? I'm not very bullish on Solana, to be honest. I think the bulk of its move is over. I think the move existed within a bubble, and that was the meme coin euphoria bubble. Do I think that will continue? No. Therefore, the main use case of Solana is gone. Do I think Solana is over for the cycle? No, not necessarily. Do I think it can pump from here? Absolutely. Now, am I 100% confident it will make a new all-time high? No. But let's say it does. What would be the cycle top target? Because you'll get people all over crypto Twitter, all over YouTube calling for $1,000 per Solana. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen whatsoever. I think Solana, if it does break its all-time high, maybe $623, the 0.786 fib, which is a key profit-taking area. Now you can see this fib held as amazing support here, a little deviation below and reclaimed. And from here, this is kind of what I think will play out for the rest of the cycle. And all you're going to get is a measly 4x return, significantly worse than XRP. I think with XRP even, you're making a significantly better return, because XRP has barely even broken its all-time highs. Solana's surpassed its all-time highs with a slight wick deviation here, and it just looks lackluster to me. It looks weak. It looks frothy. It looks like distribution here. This is the kind of distribution setup you get. You know, this deviation to take out the highs, deviation to take out the lows, more ranging. Probably going to get a slow accumulation here, breakout, euphoric end to the cycle, and then boom, send it back down in the bear market. So with Solana, look, Solana has become the meme coin hub of crypto. That's the actual utility now. Not decentralized finance, not infrastructure, just memes and degeneracy. People doing depraved stuff on Pump Fun Live. That's what Solana's about now. As I covered in the last video, no banking institution, no government, nobody is building on Solana. Solana could barely handle the volume from Trump coin. It's pathetic, to be honest, but that can be a topic for another video. This is about purely financial returns and why Solana is not a good investment here. So, meme coins have topped for the cycle. They've topped against altcoins. Meme coins will still continue. Altcoins, utility altcoins will outperform. That's Ethereum's domain. So Solana's edge is gone. It's no longer the play, it's the exit. That's why Pump Fund have been selling like crazy. They sell all the Solana they make. Solana's very VC heavy, very venture capital heavy. They've all been selling. Smart money is distributing on Solana. So it's VC owned and it's centralized. The network continuously crashes. And most of the gains, most of the hype with Solana is purely degenerate meme coins which have topped for the cycle. Retail is late to Solana. Solana, the time to invest was here. Time to invest was here. Maybe even here. Right here, it's just not worth it. Unless you get a big kind of, I'll draw it out. Unless you get a big kind of liquidation, little deviation below here, reclaim, bounce, boom. Cool. Good entry here. You're not going to get that. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. This is where you would buy. And you're getting a measly 4x return at best. Now, let's say it doesn't even break the current all-time high, which is a possibility. I have to warn you. Let's say it has a bearish retest of this fib. 64% gain. That is not what we're in crypto for. You want a 64% gain? Go get a few years of stocks. We don't go for that in crypto. In crypto, you can get a 100x, 200x, 300x, 400x. I know where I put my money. So Solana's had its time, and when the main value proposition becomes, this is where memes go to die, it's time to rotate or it's time to avoid. Solana is not where you're going to make money for the rest of this cycle. You're late. And again here, I'm going to show you an example against Ethereum. And I'm not telling you to buy Ethereum. I'm just comparing as to why Solana isn't a good investment here by any metrics. I could show you Solana against XRP. Solana against Total. Solana against anything. And it shows Solana, this is not the time to buy. So again, I drew out this path in CC Elite a long time ago, and it's played out perfectly. We've had a rejection here, pump from here, rejection, and we broke underneath this flag. And again, this red line is a support, but we will break below it. Best case scenario, I've drawn here a little bounce. Maybe Solana has a tiny little outperformance period against Ethereum that lasts 1 month max, and then boom. It will end up here. It is going to end up in this zone, which means Ethereum is going to outperform Solana, which means everything is going to outperform Solana. Solana is not a good investment if you want to make generational wealth. I'm telling you that now. So next, let's move on to Bitcoin dominance. So before anybody complains about Bitcoin being the best storage of value, blah, 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 I agree. Bitcoin is where you want your money. If you have 7 figures, again, if your goal with crypto is to change your life from zero to hero, do not invest in Bitcoin. Now, I'm not going to give you a specific price return. I'm not going to tell you where I think Bitcoin tops for the cycle. That information is strictly for CC Elite. The boys in there know exactly where Bitcoin is going to top. This is just for purely if you're investing for the bull run. Now, if you're stacking your bags, you're accumulating, for years to come, cool, buy Bitcoin, DCA Bitcoin, buy some every single week. If you're buying for quick money, which is what we're in crypto for. When I say quick, I don't mean a day, 2 days, a week, a month. I mean a couple of years, right? Let's say theoretically Bitcoin doubles in price. well done. Your $1,000 investment is now $2,000. With all due respect, you could have gone and worked at McDonald's for a month and made $1,000. So there's no benefit to you investing in Bitcoin. Now, what I will show you is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So again, Bitcoin dominance could well be top for the cycle. And as I drew in the previous video, it likely is pretty much top for the cycle. Now, this path here is a worst or best case scenario, depending on how you view it, for Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance can reach 69%. Does it have to? No. But this little grey zone here would be the end zone. It will go no further than here. So what is Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the market share that Bitcoin has. How much Bitcoin dominates the market. And if it is top for the cycle, what does that tell you? That tells you everything else will outperform Bitcoin. Everything else will outperform Bitcoin. Now, if you were to buy Bitcoin when the dominance was around 40%, cool, go ahead. Because you know it's very likely going to reach this level. You know it's going to outperform the market. However, what is the key principle of investing? You buy low, you sell high. If you wanted to buy when Bitcoin dominance was down here at the lows, be my guest. If you want to buy Bitcoin when dominance is at the top for the cycle, where is the logic? Even if you're the biggest Bitcoin maxi in the world, the logical thing to do is to buy altcoins, sell them at peak bull run, rotate the profits back into Bitcoin in the bear market. By no means is it easy, but it is simple. Very logical. So if Bitcoin dominance pushes up here to 69%, we're going from 65% to 69%? That's meaningless. You are much better allocated in altcoins. Trust me. Now, others dominance here. This is others as a percentage market share of the market. Others is altcoins. Right? So, again, others dominance is bottomed. It can again go a bit lower. It can wick into this green zone here, and then it will start its parabolic phase of the cycle. This previous pump we had this cycle was a little baby run. Just like this one was relatively a baby run. This was the real one, and this will be the real one. You're much better allocated into altcoins than you are Bitcoin. I am the biggest Bitcoin bull you will ever meet. You should be stacking Bitcoin. But in the bear market, not in the bull market. Not at the end of Bitcoin's reign in the bull market. At the start of the bull market, you want to buy Bitcoin, ride it up for a 10x, amazing. But when Bitcoin is close to its relative top, it's not the time to buy. It is the time to allocate to altcoins for the altcoin run, the inevitable alt season that is coming. It's not the time for Bitcoin. So, talking of others' dominance, what should you be buying? Okay, that's the question. Don't buy these three coins. What should you be buying? What should you be looking out for? Well, if you want to make truly life-changing returns, you need to be looking at utility altcoins, not these stupid meme coins, Dogcat 3000. Think about it. You need to be investing in a market that the likes of BlackRock are throwing billions of dollars into. I promise you, they're not going to be investing in these random meme coins. They're going to be investing in high market cap utility altcoins. So what do? We look for the betas to those. We look for the low market cap utility altcoins. So that's the first thing you look out for. Low market cap. When I say low market cap, under $1 billion market cap. Because there will be coins that have $1 billion market cap and they can pump 10x. They can go to $10 billion market cap. Peak bull run. Very doable. But again, a 10x is not going to change your life. Let's be real. Even if you have 20k, you get a 10x, 200k. Amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. It will change the standard of your living. Is it generational wealth? No. Now think about this. You've got 20k and you make a 150x. You've now got 3 mil. That is generational. That is life-changing. Not 20k to 200k. Not 1k to 10k. 1k to a mil is life-changing. It's generational wealth. So, low market cap. Under $1 billion market cap. Essentially, a rule of thumb is the lower the better, as long as quality is not forsaken for size. So that's the second point. They need to be high quality. They need to fill a gap within the market. If it's just another copy and paste of another project, there's no USP. There's nothing that will draw investors to this coin. So first thing you need, low market cap. Second thing you need is actually a good innovative project with a USP, a unique selling point, something fresh, something innovative. Thirdly, it needs to be within a good narrative. So off the top of my head, 3 good narratives are AI, real world assets, and gaming, right? 3 good narratives. You need to understand narratives. You need to understand why narratives are important, and you need to understand what the most bullish narratives are. I'll give you one completely for free. AI. AI is an amazing narrative. Everybody knows AI is the fastest growing industry in the world. Alongside crypto, mix the two together. AI utility projects in the crypto world will have crazy asymmetric upside for the rest of this bull run. And fourthly, they need to have good chart setups. If you've got an amazing project and the chart is finished, gone to zero, that can be a good thing. You can buy the blood, you can buy the fear, but sometimes that will demoralize the entire community and the team will give up on the project. Do you understand? So the chart needs to be bullish. There needs to be clear support levels. You want to enter at support. You want to enter at the bottom, not the top. Don't go for coins that have already pumped to 20, 30, 50x. You want to go for coins at the bottom. So you need to find a balance of the chart not being too dead and not having already done the bulk of its move, like Solana. And fifthly, there needs to be some kind of hype. There needs to be some kind of trend for the coin. Nothing crazy. You need to be able to search the ticker up on Twitter, on YouTube, and see people talking about it, people excited about it. You need to be in their Telegram community. How many people are in there? Are they excited about it? You need to gauge investor sentiment for the coin. If everybody's bullish about it, it's a good narrative, low market cap, the chart is primed and it's not ran yet, it's at support, and it's in something like the AI sector, you know it's a no-brainer investment. So use those metrics to judge whether a coin is good enough, whether it's not good enough. If I'm being completely honest, are you likely to make 100, 200, 300x gains purely from your own research? No. Can you make a 20x? Definitely, which is a lot better than you're going to get with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. If you do want the 100, 200, 300x's, it will take 12 hours of work per day, research 24/7, absolute grinding to be able to find them, qualify them, get your entries, and it's a lot harder than it sounds. So if you do want that kind of analysis done for you, all of that research done for you, every single thing done for you at your fingertips, that is what we do inside Crypto Crusaders, specifically the elite tier. Crypto Crusaders is my private crypto community in which we have almost 400 active members and over $9 million invested across the board. Our mission is very simple. It's to make sure every single member can capitalize on this bull run, which most likely is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make generational wealth. As you can see, it's been going pretty well for us. With the highly anticipated bull run on the horizon, interest to join has been at an all-time high. And we're actually going to be raising prices and potentially closing signups very soon. So if joining a group like this is something you're interested in, I'll put an application link in the description of this video. And in the meantime, make sure to join our free Telegram channel below. Inside CC Elite, we're positioned early. We've got the players already locked in, the entry is defined, and the capital is always allocated before the hype begins, so that you're not throwing your savings at Solana when it's already pretty much top for the cycle, and instead you're intelligently investing at the lows of high ROI utility altcoins that can genuinely change your life. But aside from that, if you do go it alone, make sure you keep your eyes on the right narratives, make sure you stay ahead of the curve, and most importantly, make sure you dedicate time, because it will take a lot of time. You need almost 12 hours a day, like a full-time job, and if you lock in for this period, you can genuinely change your life and the lives of your loved ones with this asymmetrical upside opportunity on low cap utility altcoins. And if not, then join a community that will do that for you. Of course, we recommend Crypto Crusaders, and we have the receipts to prove that that is the place to be. That wraps up my breakdown of the 3 coins you should avoid in 2025 and what to focus on instead if you really want life-changing gains. Do you agree with this list, or would you swap something out? Let me know down below in the comments. If you want more analysis like this, join our free Telegram, which I will link below, where you can get daily market insights and some free calls. Thanks for watching, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.